The top 5 selling video games of the 1980s. The 1980s marked a turning point in the history of video games. Home consoles became household staples, arcades dominated social spaces, and gaming grew into an industry that reached millions of players worldwide. Some titles from this decade weren't just successful, they became defining moments in gaming history. This list explores the 5 best-selling video games of the 1980s. These titles sold millions of copies, entertained generations of players, and set the foundation for modern gaming. Coming in at number 5, Super Mario Bros. 3, 1988. By the late 1980s, Mario was already one of the biggest names in gaming. But Super Mario Bros. 3 took the franchise to an entirely new level. Released in 1988 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, the game introduced features that expanded what was possible in a side-scrolling platformer. The overworld map allowed players to take different paths, unlocking shortcuts in hidden areas throughout the Mushroom Kingdom. Levels varied in themes, featuring everything from airships to giant-sized enemies, keeping gameplay fresh and unpredictable. New power-ups, such as the Super Leaf and Tanuki Suit, gave Mario the ability to fly and transform, adding more depth to exploration and strategy. The game's colorful visuals and fluid animations made each world feel alive, while the soundtrack became one of the most recognizable in gaming history. With over 17 million copies sold, Super Mario Bros. 3 became one of the best-selling NES games of all time, further cementing Mario's place as a gaming icon. Number 4, Super Mario Land, 1989. As portable gaming gained momentum, Nintendo sought to bring its most popular franchise to the handheld market. In 1989, Super Mario Land launched on the Game Boy, delivering a new Mario adventure that players could take anywhere. Instead of the familiar Mushroom Kingdom, the game introduced a new setting called Sarasaland, where Mario set out to rescue Princess Daisy from the alien antagonist Tatanga. The game's design adapted to the limitations of the Game Boy, featuring smaller characters and simplified backgrounds, but it retained the fast-paced platforming action that made Mario series famous. One of the most notable aspects of Super Mario Land was its unique gameplay elements. Unlike previous Mario games, it included shoot-'em-up style segments, where Mario piloted a submarine and an airplane. These sections added variety to the experience and demonstrated the flexibility of the Game Boy hardware. Selling over 18 million copies, Super Mario Land became one of the most successful games for the Game Boy. Its success played a significant role in establishing handheld gaming as a dominant force in the industry. Number 3, Duck Hunt, 1984. Few games are instantly recognizable as Duck Hunt. Released in 1984 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, this light gun shooter became a staple in many households, thanks to its simple yet engaging gameplay. Using the NES Zapper, players aimed at ducks that flew across the screen, trying to shoot them down before they escaped. The game's hunting dog provided an extra layer of entertainment, reacting to each successful hit or laughing at players who missed their shots. The sound effects and animations made each round satisfying, encouraging players to keep improving their accuracy. A second game mode, Clay Shooting, offered an alternative challenge, requiring quicker reflexes as targets moved faster across the screen. One of the biggest reasons behind Duck Hunt's success was its inclusion as a pack-in title with many NES consoles. Bundled with Super Mario Bros., the game reached a massive audience, leading to over 28 million copies sold. Even decades later, Duck Hunt remains one of the most well-known light gun games ever created. Tetris, coming in at number 2, 1989, Game Boy version. Few games have achieved the level of success and longevity as Tetris. Originally developed in 1984 by Soviet programmer Alexei Pajitnov, the puzzle game became a worldwide phenomenon when it's launched on the Game Boy in 1989. The objective of Tetris was straightforward: arrange falling tetramino blocks to complete full lines, which would then disappear. The simplicity of the concept made it easy for anyone to pick up and play. But the increasing speed and demand for quick decision-making created an addictive challenge that kept players engaged for hours. The Game Boy version of Tetris helped propel the handheld console to massive success. The ability to take the game anywhere, combined with its multiplayer capabilities through the Game Link cable, made it a must-have title. Selling over 35 million copies on the Game Boy alone, Tetris became the best-selling puzzle game of all time. The game's enduring appeal continues, with modern versions appearing on nearly every gaming platform. And coming in at number 1, Super Mario Bros. 1985. No game defined the 1980s more than Super Mario Bros. Released in 1985 for the NES, it introduced players to a side-scrolling adventure that set the standard for platformers. Mario's quest to rescue Princess Peach from Bowser took players through a series of worlds filled with obstacles, power-ups, and hidden secrets. The game's design encouraged exploration, rewarding players who discovered underground warp zones and hidden coin blocks. The tight controls and precise platforming made the game both accessible to newcomers and rewarding for experienced players. The soundtrack, composed by Koji Kondo, became one of the most iconic in gaming history, with the main theme instantly recognizable even today. With over 40 million copies sold, Super Mario Bros. Became the best-selling game of the 1980s. It played a crucial role in reviving the video game industry after the crash of 1983, helping to establish Nintendo as a leading force in gaming. The influence of Super Mario Bros. Is still felt today, with its core mechanics inspiring countless platformers and its legacy continuing in modern Mario titles. The 1980s shaped the future of video games, and these 5 titles played a major role in that transformation. Each of these bestsellers reached millions of players, introduced new ideas, and contributed to the growth of the gaming industry. From Mario's adventures across consoles and handhelds to the puzzle mastery of Tetris and the arcade-style fun of Duck Hunt, these games remain relevant decades later. They represent an era of innovation, excitement, and creativity that still influences gaming today. Which of these classic games do you remember playing the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into gaming history, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content.